talk about regime change. I'm talking about constitutional reforms that will allow us to have a process of power in which it continuously shifts from one individual to another. So constitutional reforms is our agenda, not the move of President Museveni. No. Challenges of a young lawyer. You know, I've already told you before that when I was a young lawyer, that's when I served as research officer in the Supreme Court. And I was earning 350,000 shillings a month. And that money was supposed to take care of my rent, was supposed to take care of my transport to office, was supposed to take care of my daily living. How could I manage to administer those limited resources? So the challenges of a young lawyer are central to my heart because I have lived that experience. And what are some of the things that we intend to do for the young lawyer? We need to expand opportunities for the young lawyer. I've said it before again, that technology is here and it's killing our jobs. When I have just
Sorry about that.
When I had just become a lawyer, we used to.
Can we get back on track, please, and be orderly? Calm down and allow Council to finish. Mr. Kuku.
When I have just become a lawyer, some of the jobs we did that helped us to supplement our incomes involved incorporation of companies, filing of companies' returns, concluding land-sale transactions. Those opportunities right now are not there anymore. A person does not need a lawyer to file an annual return. A person does not need a lawyer to operate a company. A person does not need a lawyer to conclude the land transaction. My proposal is, look here, you are a Project 6 clearing agents. Uganda Revenue Authority, the system for clearing goods is automated. But if you're not a clearing agent, even if I'm the importer, if I import my vehicle tomorrow, I will not be able to clear it with you unless I'm licensed by the Uganda Revenue Authority. And I'm saying, can't we get that protectionism over the legal spaces that earn us money? And I think that is something that you can advocate for as Uganda Law Society. Expansion of opportunity is important, but also secondly, we need, as young lawyers, we need mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot understate the importance of mentorship. You need it. You need it. You need to talk to people who have walked the path before you. You need to know how they survived. You need to know how they managed to storm the weather. And as time progresses, you learn, you develop, you meet new people, you need to engage. We need to open up opportunities for networking for the young lawyers. And that is the only way, my friends, that you supplement your income. I believe those were the questions that were asked of me. There's another question which was asked in the previous segment about the investigations by the Vice Chancellor or by a question that was said by Dr. Kabumba, I take exception to that investigation. It's a violation of academic freedoms, like you rightly stated. Makerere University is an institution of higher learning, and people must contend with the questions that are pertaining to the issues that are facing the country. So I salute you, Dr. Msinde, for setting that exam. We should set more of those examinations. I actually think now the next examination, my proposal would be, it's about the term limits. It should be about Parliament trying to vote for the president, take away universal adult suffrage, and restriction of women term limits to 2. Ladies and gentlemen, let us be careful with the leaders we choose. Let us be very careful with the leaders we choose. I have laid out the plans that I have for you. I may disagree with you. I may disagree with your expression. But I will defend to death your right to express yourself the way you do. And your right to shout or to make noise. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Palu, for those also very good submissions. Now we are coming to the end, almost the last session of our debate today, and that is the closing remarks. Yeah. Okay. Each. Okay. Each party will have 5 more minutes. So indicate which party.
Thank you, the conveners of this debate. My name is Dennis Sebuya, a lawyer, and I also sat somewhere there. Where is that lady? A few years ago. My question is to Mr. Kenneth Kipago. At a time, by his own admission, that there's nothing which is functioning in the country. There's nothing which is functioning in the professions, in the industry. You're seeing the strikes, the trader strikes, with legal aspects and what have you. There's nothing which is functioning outside the university. Now, from what we're hearing here today, as to are coming from outside the university, you're telling us that you finished school, but you don't go outside at LDC to study. Now, engagements have been on for years. When we were here, all those issues were here. Is it time that there is a twist in the way things are being approached? The good thing is that of course, we don't want an extreme kind of thing, but the good thing is that there is a limit, at least at the Uganda Law Society. So I think there's a checklist, there's protections, and there are also governing. There's governance. So the question to him is, how does he want to approach? Because for the last 20 years, there's been dialogue, and there's not been results. How is he going to approach those proposals of his he's talking about? He has agreed that there's a problem. Is it more of the same dialogue? How is that going to change things? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other question?
Thank you so much. My question goes to Councillor Kipago. Unless minutes ago my ears were not as open as they're supposed to be, but I want you to clarify to me if I heard well or if I did hear well. Did you say that you did not know or that you were not aware of the big numbers of the students that are missing out of LDC? That's what I want to be clear about.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I have to give a disclaimer before I dive into this conversation because I support disruption. I respect you, Council Semakade, for what you stand for your track record. However, the school of law where we're having this debate from has been in chaos for the last, I think, 1 month over the same issue that those two brave girls, I don't know who they were, the one that you're accusing. We have a tradition of debate in the school of law. We listen to each other. We are not going to live in a country that does not give us platform as young people to have proper discussions about the things that affect us. And in our spaces that we have created to discuss the issues that are affecting us, we are silent. We cannot be silent outside and be silent in the spaces that we have created for ourselves. So I beg you to give us space, even in the space that we have created for ourselves, to discuss our issues. Please. Back to the discussion. I commend the two brave ladies who came here on the floor against a mob that has refused to constantly listen to their appeals and talk about the things affecting them. Now, Councillor Makerere raised an issue that we talked about the weaponization of sexual harassment, the myths around sexual harassment, that apparently people are paid, people gain from this, it's a trade for some people. And then he talks about the fact that he had, yes, I'm just putting it to now. I want to vehemently condemn the issue that sexual harassment is, that somehow women weaponize it. The silence around sexual harassment and why some of these women are not confident enough to come and say, oh, this is my abuser, this is the one who violated me. It's because of a mob like this. So let us listen to Again, we are not going to be silenced, even in the spaces that we created for ourselves. When someone comes up and says, these are the allegations of sexual harassment, your response cannot be that these are myths, they are created. You need to introspect, why is there silence? Why aren't these victims confident enough to come and say, this is the abuser? If you continue to create spaces where we cannot have this conversation without a fear of a mob descending on victims who tell you that these are stories, and I'm speaking as someone who in this university has constantly fought for victims of sexual violence, and we have not received justice. In 2019,
I'll just let you know that as school of law, we do not condone sexual harassment. As lawyers in the legal fraternity, women, we do not condone sexual harassment. But the church that women
I'm not rich. You will not deny them if they ask questions. You will not
Yes,
arrest them because
it's okay. That's enough. The point is gone. I listen them. Yes. Any more questions?
My question is to Council Chipalu. I've been listening to his submission among his talks, and he's more of a person who envisages procedure and stakeholders, and so I would like to bring this out to you. The problem, a senior of mine, I know Joseph built a problem is citing for the problem that was seen in the Documentary Report in 1998. That when legal education is liberalized, like most schools are created, LDC will not be able to handle that in 1998. I think the point of stakeholding, that time between 1998 to now, it's more than, I think, 20 years. The point of stakeholding was, I don't know, it was ample time. So my question is, why do you still believe that engaging stakeholders and talks and good work, yet don't work for the past 20 years until the problem is now overlooked?
Thank you. And then I think we have a representative from one of the candidates.
Thank you. I've been touched by a question that was asked on doing law vis-a-vis work and how our workspace is being eaten up by so many players. And I want to implore students who are in this hall today, and I think it is what Mr. Makerere is calling decolonization. We need to decolonize our minds from from the conventional study methods that I'm a lawyer. When I finish law school, I'm going to incorporate companies, I'm going to litigate. The trends are moving. Litigation is moving into dispute resolution. Practice, transactions, we are moving into specialization. I personally do sports law, but when I started it some years back, people did not understand what I was talking about. Right now, everyone is moving in that direction. So even when you're here, I was telling doctor here, since the education system opened up, we have doctors who are still in law should start moving towards shaping a doctor who comes in first year to do medical law and practice, shaping a journalist who comes into law school first year into journalism and media law. We have seen Natif here. He's a medic. This gentleman here, he's a medic. He's a journalist. When he writes an article on law, you can think he's a professor of law. So we should move towards that. Thank you.
Boss.
Okay, thank you very much. My question goes to Council Makerere. Firstly, I'm on track, and I know you have won. But I have one critical question, because the next 2 years are critically political years. And it is dangerous to the status quo to have a rebel at the Uganda Law Society. I've talked to a number of eligible voters. I'm not one of them, and that's why I only wish you good luck. But the fear on the other side is that the will of the people may not be reflected. And my question is, what next? Yeah, how shall we reclaim our victory in case our will is not reflected in the forthcoming election? Thank you.
the candidates now, we are at the final leg of this debate. Each have 7 minutes. The 7 minutes will now be to answer the questions and also give your point of view. So in the beginning, we started with council Semakade because the point was so now we start with the remarks and we start with council remarks and then after 7 minutes answer the questions and give your point of view. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll begin with the question of my brother, Dennis Sengu. He's saying that dialogue has not helped much. And I think there's a contestation between two approaches. There's a minimalist approach, and then there's, you can say, a maximalist approach. Minimalist approach pushes for incremental change, progressive realization of the ideals of democracy. And then the maximalist approach is a radical change. Radical change. Tomorrow you want this and it happens. My view is that, at least if you study societies, we progress towards the society we want. The road to progress is always under construction. You're not going to, it's like bombing, it's what they call bombing democracy to people. You must progressively realize those ideals. Each of us adding a block, and that is what we intend to do. You're not going to have a revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your career. There is no revolution in this country. The best we can have is revelation, know where we are as a country, and then work progressively towards where we want to be. And that is my agenda as president. I can never underscore the importance of dialogue. It is important because all these people you're isolating are critical. They are central to the democratic journey of this country. Was I not aware of the big number of LDC students not getting admitted? It's this year that it happened. And I am aware of what the problem was and why LDC, because if you recall, last year LDC took on 2,000 students. This year LDC has taken on 1,500 students. And the question you have to ask yourself is why? Why that decline? Last year they took on 2,000 and this year they have taken on 1,500. If you ask yourself that question, you will know that the LDC budget was cut. The LDC budget was cut by 1.8 billion. And as a result, the uptake they had last year would not be the same as the one they had this year. Why was that budget cut? No one at Uganda society can tell you why. We have not been engaging. We have not been, having these conversations with the regulatory bodies. So I think Uganda Law Society is at the center of what goes on in the legal profession. And we need to be concerned we need to be concerned. We need to put ourselves at the center of this conversation. Parliamentarians should not decide what happens in the legal education space because it impacts on our practice. You guys who are here today, you're the magistrates of tomorrow, you're the lawyers of tomorrow, you're the judges before whom we are going to appear. So we need to pay attention to what is going on in law schools. And it's unfortunate what has happened this year. But as we think through a solution, we shouldn't sacrifice quality. Yeah? We shouldn't sacrifice quality of the education. I would like to salute my sister over there. Who stood up in support of our colleague here. It's not easy to speak up when you've been sexually harassed. And I encourage all those women not to shy away. And I think it is our responsibility as Uganda Law Society to create those safe spaces such that people do not die with their baby. You cannot say that someone is weaponizing sexual harassment. That is very absurd. I have daughters and I wouldn't. That is offensive. Yeah. The victim can never be the villain. And to those people who harass others, the law will soon catch up. My other brother asked that this problem was envisaged by the Roberti report in 1998. And the reason is, up until now, nothing has been done. And that is why it's most necessary to have leadership at this time. I've already told you, we have a stakeholders engagement before the year ends to chart a way forward on the future of legal education. So it is coming to an end. We are getting a lasting solution under my leadership. Now, in my closing remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I said I came here at the risk of losing my candidature as President of Uganda Law Society. I value engagement, I value dialogue. Some of the best democratic ideals were formed at tea parties and in universities. We cannot give up on engagement, or we cannot legislate ourselves out of engagement. I have told you the problem we have with the rule of law in this country. I believe I am the leader to check that course. But also I'd like to be very wary of revolutionaries. Be very wary. I'm sure you know we have a revolutionary problem here. We will not cease to remind you that we are revolutionaries. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am inviting you to vote for leadership. Vote for ideas that will move us forward. Let's vote for ideas, not emotions.
Thank you, Councillor Chikalo.
Together, let us progress our society.
Thank you, Councillor Chikalo. I can see Councillor Isaac is itching to get to the stand. Yes. Yes.
I have a homecoming party. Bang the table. The back on track. Bang the table. Colleagues, thank you for listening to us beyond the allocated time. This shows that there is some substance to the occasion, the issue of the day, and they are
real victims in the room. However, on the great issue of sexual harassment, Semakade has no accuser in the room. In the room, that has to be made clear. And the woman who dared to make that insinuation should be warned. If you continue on that path, you will make public life very difficult for generations of other women to come. I speak from the bottom of my heart as somebody who brought my mother in the room. I don't see yours around.
She's not a candidate today, she will be a candidate another day. She'll bring her mother then.
I warn you, my dear, if you are a law student, I warn you that the finest is not you. I am speaking to you because you accused me.
She's not the one. And they didn't accuse you.
Please leave my interpretation to be my interpretation. So young lady,
It was a question.
whoever you were, she made clear accusations. Doctor.
No, she said people say.
Do not mansplain me again. Do not mansplain me again. So let me be very clear to young women who are objective-minded and have come here to receive a post-colonial legal education. The essence of training you through the hallowed rooms of Makerere University is to remind you that justice is the beating heart of good governance. It is not activism. Standing with no more questions. No more questions. Shame. Thank you.
Please let it
Thank
be.
you.
It was a question, it was not an accusation. Yes.
Well, I'm addressing that person who is upset. I'm addressing the empty chair.
Yes.
I'm addressing the empty chair.
It's okay.
I'm addressing the empty chair. If it pains you,
It's okay.
I'm addressing the empty chair.
Calm down. It's the point. Let's deal with the point, the issue.
So, young ladies who have come to receive legal education, this be warned. Justice is the beating heart of good governance, and it is not activism, it is not gender, it is not identity politics, it is not, the easy life. Justice is battle. And when we do battle for all people without discrimination, we must accept rule of law. And the finest tradition of rule of law is called due process. It is called due process. Without fear of God. Anybody who today asks us to accept westernized identity politics, westernized interests, to give up on due process. Due process is not a Western concept. In Uganda, they say, "Tosala guakawala." Decolonized minds. Guys, decolonized minds. We waste so much time. I want to give you statistics. Of all the girls that have studied law at Makerere University, only 1.6% are at the bar. 1.6% are at. Think about that for a while. So, many victims of sexual harassment, who do you think they come to? Who is specimen? There are so many organizations, far more funded by my family come here, and that not okay. I'm funded by these people. We don't put our sexual harassment clients on blast because it goes against the principles of redress of sexual harassment. We don't put them on blast for likes, shares, and comments. Okay. So I want to stop at that point and make other points. Conclusion.
Within 2 minutes.
The gentleman who spoke about what lawyers think, they stand up. Yeah, lawyers, and especially the president of Law Society, does not traffic in speculation. All right? You are not a statistician, are you? Are you a scientist? Have you conducted a scientific poll about legal opinions? You're just a spectator. So keep in your corner. Okay? Now, young ladies and the rest of the world who are concerned about, let me conclude, guys. The essence of why we came to debate in the university is because this is a global center of excellence in legal trade. I would be remiss in my duty if I did say the following: that I've had so many Mario, Chira, my dear. We are currently fighting sexual harassment in Gaza. Okay? If you want to fight sexual harassment in Uganda, please reduce it as much as possible to the victim at hand. And if you don't know anything about it, if you want to speak sexual politics, wear a Palestinian scarf, my dear. Because many women and children are killed in droves. And you've never spoken about it.
Yes, Miriam?
So if you talk about the table about women and children being harassed by power, you may want to begin. The issue at Makerere University is because.
Okay, Miriam, you don't have audience now.
The issue at Makerere University is before a proper organ. It's before a proper what? The rest of us must respect the integrity of those processes. I want to say something about my career at the Supreme Court, something I have in common with Kenneth Chipalu. Because I have seen Kenneth Chipalu recognize having been a research officer at the Supreme Court as some kind of credential for the serious office we are running for. While you were at the Supreme Court, Kenneth, you earned 340,000, as you said. I earned nothing. I earned what? Nothing. And I like to be proud for none other than the former Chief Justice Makerere.
Okay,
I was delivered to office every day. Let me finish. I was delivered every day by these people. My mother and my father, they delivered every day. Until they began to ask why. That's when I said, I went to the judge and I said, now, judge, we have received the critical opposition to our project. I need to enter chambers to provide accountability to those who trained a lawyer. I did not claim the work we did. If I can, I will tell you, we did civil, constitutional, and criminal session between 8, 9, and we attained a reversal of constitutional cases and set a new decisions which had come on 3-2 and 4-1 verdicts of the lower courts, including Masaru Kusini, Henry Tumukunde, Pastor General, and so many others we want to talk about because that process is protected by privacy.
Okay, thank you very much.
Destroy the finest traditions of justice.
The time is up.
I want to stress all the naysayers.
Okay, 1 minute.
I want to stress all the naysayers out there, especially online. I want to say this once and for all. The decision of the day is for the ballot. It is for the what? And people can bring emotion to the ballot. And we are asking for only emotion at the ballot. We don't ask for clever. Don't bring clever at the ballot. The threats we face as the bar of Uganda are existential. Do you understand? You guys have a just choice.
Okay, thank you.
You can live in phantasmagoria. We live in reality.
Okay, thank you very much, Council Semakate. Very good closing remarks from both candidates. You can take your seats again. Members, School of Law, yeah? Yes. Now we want to thank you all for really making it, coming for this debate and spending the time here until now. We want to thank the candidates, both Council Semakade and Council Kipalu, for accepting to be here. We want to thank their fans for also making it here and trying as much to keep organized so that we can have this debate to its logical conclusion. We want to thank also our parents who have joined us. We thank you all for your efforts. We thank you for coming here and being part of this process. We want to reiterate as the School of Law that the School of Law does not in any way condone sexual harassment. We have zero tolerance for sexual harassment. The anti-sexual harassment policy is clear for the university. We are all open to address any complaints of sexual harassment following due process, following the rule of law, following the we implore anybody who has faced any issue of sexual harassment to come and please report to management or please report to any lecturer so that the matter is taken and addressed. We want all of you to know that whether you are a man or a woman, a female or male or any other gender, if you have faced any sexual harassment, I reiterate, come and report to management. Now, at this juncture, let us close by saying the ball is now in your court. The candidates have graciously presented themselves to us with their ideology, their manifesto, what they intend to do when in office. It's now your turn to cast the vote where your heart leads you. So this debate now comes to an end. We wish you all the best. See you on the 28th of September.
The time is now! The time is now! The time is now! Everybody, Lord! Back on track! Back the table! Back on track! Back the table! Back on track! Back the table!
Yesize eryanda lye badde tukakukoze baaba. Kukutte.